For the past 6 months, we've been studying the 7 factors, and we've finally arrived at the 7th, equanimity. With the previous 6 being, and I'm going to say them in order: mindfulness, investigation, energy, joy, calm, concentration, and equanimity. And each factor lays down and deepens the foundation for the next one to reveal itself. And finally, as relaxed steadiness and clarity of attention strengthens and deepens, that's when equanimity arises. Now, when equanimity is present, there's a balanced perspective that accepts reality just as it is, without any craving and without any aversion. This is considered actually the crowning jewel in the practice. And it's the crowning jewel, not just on this list, but on several lists. And why is that? Because it's hard-earned. You see, equanimity stretches the boundaries of what we deem acceptable. And we know how hard it is to keep our hearts open to everyone and to every situation. The good news is that if we've arrived at adulthood, we already have some measure of equanimity in us. But let's be honest, for most of us, it hasn't fully ripened. It hasn't fully matured yet. And just in case there's any doubt, I'd like us to look actually in 2 places: in here at ourselves and out there at the state of the world. In fact, I'd like to begin there at the state of the world. I mean, just listen to how we speak to one another these days. Civility is waning. Truth is in short supply. There's no public discourse. There are people talking at other people yelling at other people, calling each other names, making up stories about one another. And in the meantime, the world is aflame with wildfires, with human-made war, with human destruction of the planet that keeps us alive. We could say, as the Buddha said in his famous fire sermon, that the world is on fire, literally and figuratively on fire, with greed, our own and everybody else's, with hatred, our own and everybody else's, with self-centeredness, our own and everybody else's. And there's a lot of people on planet Earth and a lot of conflicting values and ideas inside and outside. So, no, not much equanimity can be found these days in the world. And now let's just look at ourselves, at how many times a day we lose our cool. We get reactive, take sides, say something sharp, harsh, or only slightly unkind. How often we get anxious or angry at the news or mad at other drivers, yell at them, act impulsively and accidentally hurt ourselves. How often does the mind get dull or the body get tired, the heart grow dry and uninterested and uncaring? You get where I'm going? Equanimity is, not so easily found. But ironically, equanimity invites us to look at the places where it isn't happening, where judgment and criticism live, where reactivity and tension live. It invites us to look at our shadows, at our blind spots, at our blemishes, our mistakes, and our missteps. and invites us to see our reactive patterns. And out of seeing this and feeling this, well, we learn how to make the necessary course corrections to do something different, to restore balance and harmony. We learn the art of not too tight, not too loose, of balancing interest and energy. If we're coming in hot, what is needed to calm and cool things down? If we're coming in low, well, what's needed to brighten the energy up or the attention up? These moves move us in the direction of equanimity. In everyday life, most of us lay folk move in and out of balance all day long, in and out of difficult and destabilizing mind states. We have to constantly readjust because when upsets happen, it doesn't feel so good in the body, in the heart, or in the mind. And I'm saying them separately because they each react and fall out of balance alone and together. Now, it's not uncommon to notice that we were reactive after the fact, right? After the fact. But no problem. You see, whenever we notice, before, during, or after, it's good news. It's good news that we've noticed, because now we can begin to make the necessary course corrections to restabilize and restore the balance. For example, recently a situation arose that, well, let's just say I didn't handle it as equanimously as I would have liked. Now, despite its usefulness at the time and in this particular situation, on reflection, it felt too strong. It was a strong message, and it was delivered in a strong tone. Kind, but strong. Now, on reflection, I could feel overall how much work it took and used to hold back the wild horses, as we like to say. Yet still, the tension in my voice, for me, revealed the tension inside. And I watched in real time what got activated, how it felt, how long it took to release, to really leave the body, and for the body to be able to land back on the ground, fully on the ground, calmly and comfortably in its skin. With this, what I sensed was that actually I needed more space inside to hold the intensity that was moving through, to hold the wild horses, right? So we make a bigger pasture. And how do we do that? By opening up the body, by opening up breathing, by tuning in to that experience of space around us and creating the space inside. And also finding ways to anchor attention, to keep the heart and the chest open. This is what gets clogged up, and this is where it wobbles for me. And it was great practice. It's been great learning. It always is. But here's the catch. Really, I let myself make mistakes. That's right. We have to let ourselves make mistakes in order to practice the art of restabilizing. We have to let ourselves have reactions and practice noticing them, even in hindsight, because the noticing is key. It's how we learn to grow our body, heart, minds, to accept the moment as it is without holding or pushing away. So what clues us in? What tells us when we're out of balance in some way? What happens inside? Check. Check the body, check breathing, check the attitude of heart, and check the quality of attention. Body, breath, heart, mind. Those 4 places. They'll give us the information that we need. They give us the signs that tell us that we're out of balance. And once we see them, well, now we have something to work with to figure out how to restore balance, to figure out what is needed to move in that direction. This is great work. This is important work. It's the kind of work that the world needs right now. So my encouragement to all of you is to let yourselves make mistakes. Practice then practice seeing and feeling the unrest, the dis-ease, the stress. Learn to read the signs that tell you you're stressed out or out of balance, and then restore it. Invite the question, what is needed now to move in the direction of balance? We can do this. It's for our welfare. And I assure you, for the welfare of all the beings you encounter and for the whole world. So thank you for your practice. All right. Let's open our bodies and feel into them as we lengthen long, open wide. Anything that you can let go of before you settle into stillness will support the softening and settling and the calming down of the body and the mind. So just see if there's any little adjustments that the body needs, any little pillows, supports for the arms, anything. So that the body can let go of its work and relax into itself. Oh, if there's any busyness in the mind, just let it float by like clouds in the sky. But keep tuning into the felt experience of the body. Maybe right here, just elongating a few inhalations and exhalations just to more fully open up the interior of the body. Help it to unfurl and unbind. And just allowing breathing to find its own rhythm and settle back with that. But invite in that quality of caring attention. And so for the next little while, we're going to do our best to care about our well-being by starting to notice when we tip off balance, when we list to the side or get lost in a thought or start to get agitated in some way. See if you can start to notice those moments and gently invite the question of how to restore balance. Check in and see where the mind is right now. What's it attending to? What kind of thoughts is it entertaining? And then see if you can invite it back inside the body. How's the body feeling? Has anything gotten tight? Notice, feel the tension. See if you can soften around it. Same with breathing. If it's gotten tight, how might you open it up? Create a little more room. Keep rebalancing again and again. Now soften the grip of attention and settle back. Settle back into simply being. Here we are, alone together, breathing. Each of us making room for ourselves and each other. We need these kinds of places in the world. Lucky are we to be in a field of goodwill.